Okay, so we're going to make some labels for folders. As you see here, I have a list of students. Um, the names here, last name first, all caps, just like you would get from Skyward. I've input grade, what grade they're in already, what instrument they play, and which class they're in. It's a little messier when it first comes out of Skyward, but it's really easy to get it to this order. Now, we really don't want to have all caps on the name tags on our labels. And there's an easy way to do that without retyping each one. So if you go to a new cell, hit equal, and type proper, and then click on one of the names, hit enter. Oh, it didn't work. Let's see, let's try it again. Oh, it's supposed to be a parentheses. No. There we go. Now that got one of them done. So what you can do now is highlight, go down, go up to edit, fill down, and you can see it did that for each of those names. Now if you want, problem is now is the value in each of these cells is actually the formula. So what you do now is highlight, copy, and then hit paste. Instead of hitting normal paste, hit paste special, and you're going to paste the values. So that was the output of the formulas. And now when you look in each individual cell, you'll see it's the name and not the formula. Now let's say we don't want to have it last name first, comma. What we can do is highlight the row, data, text to columns. Hit that, next, delimited. Now we have to decide what we're going to use. So for this one, we're going to use just the comma to split it out. Hit next, hit finished. Don't need any of that fancy stuff. There now we see we have the last names in one column and first names in the first initial in the next column. Now let's say we want to split out that middle initial because we don't want to be that formal. Highlight it again. Data. No. Data. Text to columns. Next. This time we're going to use the space. So we're going to use the space between the first name and the middle initial you see there. Uncheck comma. And hit next. Finish. And there it is. Now there was a space in before their first name. That's what created that new column there. So we'll just highlight all those, drag them over, and there we have it. Now let's label these columns. Last name, first name, middle initial. Oops, got that one wrong. Let's try this again. First name, tab, middle initial. Okay, so now we need to save this. Save as. Now on my particular version of Excel that I have, I need to make sure that it's .xls instead of some of the other newer options. Why? I don't know, just my version of Word. Your mileage may vary. So we'll save this as WMEA presentation labels. We can find that here in a minute. Saving to my desktop. Try and remember that. Hit save. All right, so now we have that data in a spreadsheet, and I'm going to close that just so alleviate any confusion in the software. All right, now here we are in Microsoft Word. I'm going to go up to Tools, Labels, and I'm going to pick what kind of label I want. And for these folders, I like to use these big shipping labels. So I'm going to hit OK. Now, what you want to do is go down here where it says Mail Merge, and click on that. And that opens up, creates a new file, and it opens up this Mail Merge Manager. So it's creating this new, so we've done that. Now we have to go to select recipients. So we're going to go find that data. So we're going to open a data source, which is one we've already made. And I said I saved it in desktop. So we'll find it. There we are. I like sorting things by date modified because if I just made that Excel spreadsheet, it's there ready to go. Presentation labels, open. It says it needs to be a converter. That's great. Here we go. Okay. Now, those merge fields are right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go first name, space, last name. You gotta remember, these are the ones that I cleaned up. And then I'm going to put their instrument. And let's put a comma and a space, put which orchestra they're in. And then I like putting the school address. You know, these are kids from many years ago. Olympia High School, 1302 North Street, Olympia, Washington, 9801. I like putting my office phone number on there, or the school phone number, 596-7000. No, 7100, I think. You'd be surprised how many times, well, you probably wouldn't be surprised how many times a kid leaves a folder on a field trip, but I'm always surprised how many times the folders with the address on them end up in my mailbox, somebody finding it and mailing it to us. All right, so here we are. That's how that's all going to merge, but this is also the time when you want to select your fonts and your font size. So right-click, so highlight, right-click, font. It's kind of an old school Microsoft Word here. I like to use Futura. And for their names, I like them to be nice and big. See the preview it's giving me there. That might be a little too big. Let's go 36. So that'll be their names. Don't worry about the fact that it looks crazy big in there. And then I'll just leave those. I'll leave those just like that. Hit OK. But don't worry about how nuts everything looks here. It's going to be fine. So those are all in there. Well, it might be a little too big. We'll see. So we're going to go down here. Complete merge. So this one will send it straight to the printer. You don't want to do that because it's never right the first time. So we're not going to merge to printer. We're going to merge to new document. What happens is it then has it perfectly spaced out for the size label you're using. And then you can go through and clean these up as much as you want. If you don't like the kids with long names being on double lines, it's fine. But work it out however you want. It'll give you some extra ones at the end for kids that come into the class later in the year. You've got some folders with no names on them. You can handwrite them on there. And that's how you make labels for your folders.